All right, can you all hear me? Oh, yeah. Hi, everyone. So Bonnie is running late, so I am going to lead the meeting today. Cool. So I think we've got a quorum right now. Leslie will be joining us soon, and Bonnie will be joining us soon. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Okay, welcome to Meridian Arts Commission meeting. Our mission is to develop, advance, and nurture all facets of the arts to enhance the quality of life for Meridian residents and its visitors. So I'll go ahead and take roll. Lizzie Taylor.
Here.
Jessica Peters, I'm here. Natalie.
Here.
Bonnie is coming late. Leslie is coming later. Maria. Jennifer. Tom.
Present.
Rhea.
Here.
And Joe. Okay. All right. I am looking for a motion to adopt the agenda.
Madam Chair, I move that the agenda be adopted.
Great.
Tom seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Didn't think so. Okay, hopefully you've all had a chance to review the minutes. Unless we have any questions, we will consider a motion to approve the minutes from our August 12th meeting. That's right, we didn't have a meeting in September because it was our week.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes from our August 12th meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Okay. Monthly financial statement. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at that as well. Same procedure as with everything else.
Madam Chair, I move that we do whatever you just talked about, which is to approve the monthly financial statement.
We have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to reports. So our first item is the Initial Point Gallery Subcommittee. So Natalie, is that you?
Yep, that's me. Currently, well, we just changed. So this month is the Plein Air Painters of Idaho and Katie Miller Pottery. Jessica, you were the host of our opening reception. Can you tell us how it went?
Yeah, it's a great show. As always, I recommend everyone go check it out if you haven't had a chance to yet. Lots of great pieces up there and a real diversity of work, I think. So we didn't have a huge attendance. I think it was mostly some of the artists and their friends and family. They did give out some awards. They brought in a judge and gave out some awards for that. So we got to see that. So that was pretty exciting. Otherwise, it was kind of quiet.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for hosting. Our next opening will be the first week of November, and I will be there for that one on the 5th. And the next thing on the list was an update on the selection of artists for the Initial Point Gallery Schedule 2022. Audrey, do you have a confirmation of who has responded back to us?
Yes, I can pull that up in a second. I didn't have it prepared, but I do have a document that lists that information.
And Madam Chair, I just want to note for the record that Leslie has joined us. Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
Okay, let me just share my screen really quickly. Okay. So, Madam Chair and Commissioners, it gets pretty wordy, but really the only things that you need to pay attention to are these. Anything in, let me update this even a little bit farther. Everything, highlighted in blue is confirmed. And so we have February, March, April, May, June, July. Most of August, we are still filling one quarter space of the gallery and one 3D space in August. September is good, confirmed. October is confirmed. For November, we have a quarter space open and a 3D space open. And then in December, we have 2/3 of the gallery open. And then we already have one artist for February of 2023. That's where we're at right now. I'm working on getting agreements out to all the artists so that City Council can approve. Otherwise, we are all set.
Awesome. We are moving right along. I'm glad to hear that there were some more responses. I lost my camera view. Well, hold on. Can you guys hear me?
And I just want to note, I think you guys do a great job of figuring out which artists go together for a show. I think we've had some great themes so far in the gallery, and this month it's just a variety of artists because it's an artist group. But when you guys select individual artists, it's I'm always just wowed by how well the different artists' pieces go together and everything. So great job on that.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, on behalf of our committee, we say thanks for noticing. But yeah, I think we're doing good. We just have to fill those little bits, and then we'll be good for the year. Barring any major changes in the world. But so that's all I have for this month.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'm just wondering, Natalie, based on the success that you have booked so far for 22, can we shift our hats, and do you believe that there's anything we can improve on or does the subcommittee believe there's anything we can improve on to promote each month? Do you feel like we're getting enough attendance? Are we growing our attendance? Is this an appropriate time, Madam Chair, that we could, if not, I'd like to just plant that seed with the subcommittee?
Thank you, Tom. That is definitely something we have talked about a lot. We're trying to best figure out some ways to make the gallery a little more visible. So we did add it to the Meridian City email, the newsletter that comes out every month. And then we have been working, Audrey's been adding it to the Facebook and Instagram of the city. And I have noticed that it's been kind of cross shared, I think, between MAC and from the city on Facebook. And so, but yeah, we're working to try and figure out the best way to get the word out besides what we're already doing. I would agree. I don't think our receptions are very well attended, and I'm not exactly sure why, besides people just not knowing, or maybe needing to partner with, I don't know, like come down and see our art and then go to dinner in our vibrant Meridian downtown, and we're working on, I think the downtown is growing and getting bigger. And so hopefully as some of that construction ends, we'll be able to tie some of all that together. But I don't know if you have suggestions, we would love to hear it. The one struggle we have is any social media posting coming from us has to come from Audrey. So it's kind of one more thing that she has to put on her plate every week or every, however often we want to post it. And so Audrey is working with the social media coordinator for Meridian to make sure that we're getting more visibility that way. But yeah, we are welcome to suggestions if you have them.
Great. I'll percolate on it and forward some thoughts to you.
Okay, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just throw out there right now. I'm wondering if we would be able to invest in one of those like tent signs that can go, it's like weatherproof, that we
Oh,
could put
yeah.
out sort of on the corner, outside City Hall, like out on the corner, not just in front of City Hall, but actually, at the cross streets, announcing that there's a gallery opening, and maybe that would bring folks in who wouldn't have any other way of finding out about it, because right now you have to follow the city social media pages in order to know, so.
Yeah, yeah, and there's so many businesses down there that I feel like even a little flyer in the window, I don't know. I look at stuff like that and I don't know if that's just because I don't know, creative people are visual. And so you're always like looking and reading and seeing what's around you. So yeah, I don't know, but I think the little A-frame sign would be a great idea.
Mhm. Flyers
Madam
and windows are a
Chair,
great idea too.
Madam
Yes,
Chair,
Leslie.
Commissioners,
Yep.
Natalie, I think also that there are companies that for a relatively low fee will, kind of brand and market and make a couple of posts per week. That might be something that, considering that entertainment, because we were talking about this yesterday, during the events and outreach, considering that entertainment has a specific kind of different need in the way it markets in social media. I know there are a couple of local, I don't know if there's any Meridian, but Treasure Valley businesses that specialize in marketing for entertainment. And so, I mean, there's one company downtown Boise that its entertainment is so different that they have two branches, one for all the other businesses and one for entertainment. They have a completely different staff for that at that application. I'm researching those right now for some other business things for me, but so that I just got this research today, so we might consider looking at putting some of our budget towards a city guided but outsourced social media campaign, because for the gallery, for concerts on Broadway, for everything, they push us up to the top of the algorithm so that when people search the Point Gallery, it comes up first if you're in the Treasure Valley. So it's not that expensive. Maybe we should consider using that as part of a section of our budget.
Yeah, I think we'd have
Keep it
to
off
consult
Audrey's plate.
on that one to see what the legal things are, just because I know like we personally can't post the things. It has to come from the city. So I don't know, maybe if they prepared the content.
If they prepared it and sent it to Audrey, then she wouldn't have to, and they could brand it and focus it, and then she could just forward it instead of having to come up with the posts.
Yeah.
And they could forward them to her and bingo, might work. Emily? Jessica, I think Emily's trying to talk.
Yes,
She's
she
muted.
is. I think she's working on a microphone.
Da, 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 da.
Is
There you
this
go.
working? Oh,
We'll hold music.
okay. I'm over here. So sorry to interrupt, but we're coming a little far afield of what's on your agenda. So it's fine to have this conversation, but you might want to notice it for another meeting.
Yeah, thanks, Emily, for reining us back in. Why don't, if you guys have ideas, why don't you send them over to Natalie, and you guys can further discuss this in the next meeting that you guys have. And then you can report back. So.
Okay, I like it. I turn the initial Point Gallery subject off.
It's a great topic, I think, for all of us to consider how we reach out to folks and communicate with the community what we're doing and get some more attendance at things. So good topics for all of our subcommittee meetings. So with that, we will turn over to Events and Outreach Subcommittee for a recap of Art Week and concerts on Broadway. So Leslie, is that you?
Yes, and we just had our subcommittee meeting yesterday. The concerts on Broadway went really well. I just want to give a big shout out to Audrey, because it was, with COVID shut down, she never even got an opportunity to see the concerts. And then for the first time, I was out of town doing a show, and She, we found an MC, he helped her cover. She just did such a fantastic job doing the first season. So I wanted to say that. I thought it was pretty well attended, considering it's kind of hard to know why there wasn't as much audience, whether it was because advertising was a little bit different or because of COVID. So we talked about strategies for increasing the marketing for next year, but big shout out for that. I think Art Week went really well. So we are now kind of in the phase where we will be starting to cast the season for next year so that we can get on top of that and kind of deciding. We talked in our subcommittee meeting yesterday about, as all of you did, about the new organized list of duties. And I thought that we had a deep and thorough discussion of the splitting of duties, and it all made sense. It made much better sense than, I mean, it was an evolution of Emily's PowerPoint that further defined who was going to do what. And I think it will make it much easier for Audrey and for the commissioners to know who does what. And Audrey made some great suggestions about a designee for the choosing of the bands, because it's just, it's hard to do it in committee. And we talked about having the commissioners, the events and outreach, as well as all the commissioners, if you are out, because we don't have a booking agent, if you're out at the Sandbar, or if you are out at the Sapphire Room or any of the venues, Barrel House, and you hear a good band, write down the name of the band and then get it to the events and outreach so that we can kind of all be watching for bands locally that we think are awesome. Or if you're out of town in the region, you hear a band that's great, go, hey, this might work. Get their card, get their number, get their website, and give it to the events and outreach so that we can kind of have a constant influx of what talent might work. And I just thought the new list that Audrey came up with that further delineated the duties was fantastic. So that was pretty much our discussion. That and the common theme of marketing. That's about it.
So do you want to give us a recap of Art Week?
Yeah, Art Week, it was kind of underattended. We did come up, Audrey, why don't you give the recap on that? Because she gave such a great recap yesterday in the meeting.
Yes, so for Art Week, we had a whole series of activities. The free art classes, we had a North African dance, a painting with the angry eagle, sparkle sprouts, poetry, and basic floral design. This was a continuation of the activity, the free art classes that we started for the first time last year. And we had a decent amount of attendance. One of the things that we need to work out next year is for how many people to register, how to get them to show up after they register, because we noticed that we had plenty of people register, but not as many people show up to the class. And since it is a free art class, it's not, they don't have any, skin in the game to show up. So we'll work that out next year, see how we can do that. But otherwise, I know the instructors were very pleased. It's still a great thing that we can offer to the community. For the chalk art competition, we had 10 registrations and 10 participants. We had several walk-ins, several no-shows, so it all balanced out and we had 10 participants. Overall, the chalk art competition was, I feel, one of the most successful parts of Art Week. The participants there was just good energy there, and the participants were excited to be there and happy to participate. Thanks to Jessica and Lizzie for being our judges. That was really awesome. And the winner of the adult category, she said this was her third year and she finally won a prize. So that was kind of fun. The Saturday Art Market, we plan to partner with the Saturday the Main Street Market on Saturday morning to do kind of an art-focused market. We kind of got started late in the game on that one, so we didn't have any registrations, but I still think the idea is worth trying again next year, starting to market it back in the spring when Main Street Market starts opening up their registrations for vendors. The Art Sip by the Meridian Arts Foundation highlighted the Initial Point Gallery. It was held in City Hall Plaza. And again, thank you to Lizzie for hosting that. We had about 15 people come up to the gallery and visit the art. So that was good just to let people even know that the gallery is up there. The community art party hosted by the Parks and Recreation special events coordinator and the department was really successful. I don't know if anyone remembers, but it was rainy that day. It rained all day, and the performance was supposed to start at, I want to say like 6 or something, and the rain stopped about 4:30, 5 o'clock, which left just enough time to set up and still have a great event. And we had about 500 or more people there. So it was, I'd say that was very successful and a great addition to Art Week. I listed some of, in the recap document attached to the agenda, I noted the places where we did marketing, and we can build on that for next year, adjust it, as needed. But that's where we were this week, or this year, I mean.
Great. Thanks, Audrey. I don't know if anyone was there. There was a giant pink praying mantis that was kind of roaming the park, and I thought that was kind of neat. I've never seen street art like that in Meridian before, so hopefully we get some more of that, because I think it brings some real personality to the area. And it was a great performance, and there was something else I was going to add. Oh, the sort of labyrinth kind of thing, the art labyrinth was
Wendy Blickenstaff did a kind of an interactive art exhibit. She's a printmaker, and she made a whole series. It was quite a bit of art, and she made a whole series that she placed around in the lawn and made it kind of like a maze. And it was like you were walking through the COVID journey, starting from when the first cases were, to everyone going into isolation, to the virtual everything, to the, the whole community experience of COVID. It was a really neat, kind of interactive exhibit.
Yeah, that was cool. And so both of those things definitely added to, of course, the great symphony performance as well. I had never gone to the symphony before, but highly recommend it if you guys like music. So great. Thanks, Audrey.
Yeah,
Is there anything else?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, Bill Ogle does a great job with the symphony here. He's really built it, and it's really a different program than it was when I first moved here. So it's really great. Bill Ogle used to be the Boise Philharmonic conductor. Then he went to BSU for a while, and they scooped him up in Meridian, and it's really made a big difference. But I'd like to give a shout out to Parks and Rec because I think it was a successful collaboration for Art Week. It was just, it's good to be working together.
Great. Okay, anything else to add about Art Week or concerts on Broadway? No? All right, thank you. So Public Art Subcommittee, I will start, and then Audrey, you can kind of take over and fill in the gaps there if I miss anything or if you have any updates. So 10 Mile Trailhead. So we are working with the artist to kind of refine the concept and identify the proper location. So we picked out some locations that we thought might work, and Audrey was going to be conveying our thoughts about the piece to the artist. Audrey, have you spoken with her or had any other conversations about that?
So we're working on contracting her or issuing her a task order just to get her, get the timeline straight and everything. I anticipate that she will present her next draft to the subcommittee in November.
Great. That's great. Thank you for working on that. And I'm looking forward to seeing the next iteration of the version. And this is something that we've done in the past and we're hoping to continue as a procedure. I think this happens often where we, an artist will start with a concept and then we've had a little bit of back and forth in the past as well with other pieces. Still wanting to respect the artist's vision and their concept for it, but finding a way that it can work well for what we had in mind. So we will report back after our meeting in November. So the Meridian Mural series, hopefully you've all had a chance to go past Meridian Cycles. Ben Conkle is done or close to being done, I think.
This week.
It looks awesome. I think it came out really great, and there's been a lot of publicity around that with the city sharing on social media, and it's just really exciting. And Meridian Cycles has been doing that as well, sharing information about that. So Meridian Cycles would like to have kind of not a groundbreaking, but a celebration of the completion of the mural. So we're going to be coordinating with them. Audrey, have you had any other discussions with them about that?
Yeah, so Madam Chair and Commissioners, the unveiling of the Meridian Cycles mural will be Tuesday, November 2nd at 5 o'clock. It will be a short program, like 5-minute comments from the mayor, Krista and Paul McKenna, the property owners, and Ben Conkle. They'll each have some comments and then an unveiling and then kind of a mingle time afterwards. The McKennas have a friend who has a Prosecco cart. So come and enjoy. And I'll send out more details as it gets finalized. And of course, we'll advertise it. But the date is Tuesday, November 2nd at 5 o'clock.
Awesome. Awesome. So excited. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, Audrey. And then are we still looking for a home for our design that was going to be at the Boise Co-op?
Yes. So in our meeting next week, I've had several commissioners email me locations that could be good for like an alternative location. So we're going to discuss that in our subcommittee meeting next week, kind of prioritize first choice, second choice, and then we'll just start reaching out to those properties in order of our priorities.
Great. Okay. That's awesome. Hopefully someone will be willing to host that beautiful design on their building. And then our third design, I think, is going up with Unbound, the Meridian Library location in downtown. Is that right?
That hasn't been confirmed, but we're still working on it.
Okay, we're working on it. So fingers crossed on that one. So great. Thanks, Audrey. So is there anything else that we need to update? Do you have any other updates regarding any of the public art stuff since our last meeting?
No.
Nope. Okay. So then we will move on to old business. I know the Public Arts Subcommittee has also had some discussions about the roles and responsibilities. So Audrey, it sounds like you've got some additional updates for us.
Emily, actually.
Emily does. Great. And just to note for the record that Bonnie has joined us. Hi, Bonnie.
Hello.
Okay, test. Can everyone hear me? Jury rigged a microphone to this station. Okay. Can work. Thank you for having me back.
You're welcome anytime.
Thanks. Okay. All right, did that work? Everyone see my presentation? Okay, so we're picking up where we left off in August. Doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it really has. So today I'm gonna help us pick up where we left off, kind of recap the framework that we were working with in the previous discussion and kind of reframe what we were doing, go over the process. And then you've each seen in your subcommittee meetings the great list that Audrey worked on to help us go through and do task by task, kind of what everyone, what everyone's role and responsibility will be. So we've compiled it and kind of done a little formatting and worked through, and we have sort of a updated draft to give you with all of the information together. So that'll be part of our meeting today. We really finished it this morning because the last committee met yesterday. So we would have liked to get that to you a little sooner, and you might need more time to kind of digest that. So we're prepared for that. Then to talk about outcomes, and I'll give you some action items. So if you recall, this is the framework that we were working with. This is kind of how our commissions work in general. We have executive, operational, administrative, and subject matter expert roles. They have the responsibilities that we've discussed. And the part where the Arts Commission has some overlap, just for historical reasons, is this operational column. So figuring out who's responsible for operational tasks and decisions as we grow as a city and as a commission. So we're focusing our discussion today, and we've focused our discussions before on this one little box. Just a quick overview of the dates. Again, we met in August, you met in August, and chose to assign the discussion of operational roles and functions to the committees. Again, enumerated all the tasks and functions, and then collaborated to determine who the responsible party would be. The committees have all met now, and here we are today to review the committee recommendations. This was the approach that we were using. I think we simplified this somewhat in the committee meetings to be sort of what are the city staff operational roles, so the blue, the Arts Commission operational roles, so and those are purple. Then the shared operational functions are green, and this all might make a little more sense when you see the list. So should we move to that? Do you have that ready, Audrey?
Yes, I can share.
Okay. Here it comes. While she's doing that, we didn't talk so much in the committee meetings about administrative. So after the fact, we kind of divided up the blue into blue and pink. So those are still the staff functions, but instead of just blue, we have blue and pink. So here's the key again. So this, of course, is what you were just looking at in the PowerPoint slide, the kind of 4 different categories of what we're working with. I will say we probably need to find another way to present this information, in part because, we make photocopies. So if it's black and white, it still needs to make sense, and it might not be as accessible. But the colors are what kind of helped us sort of visually sort it into its respective buckets. So if this is not its final form, this is at least where we're starting with the proposal. For the most part, this reflects what you've spoken about in committee, the exception being the kind of blue and pink distinction. And if anything got tweaked, that's my fault, not Audrey's. I did some color mixing and matching among other messing around. So I guess, Audrey, did you want them to look at that today?
So I shared a hard copy. Whoops. I shared a hard copy with those here in attendance. It is very similar to what we've already gone over in our subcommittees. So I think it's easier for the commissioners to review as a full document on your own. So we'll be emailing this out to the commissioners.
Okay. Great. In that case, I'll return to this. All right, so the operational roles and responsibilities have been sorted out. Thanks to all of you for your good work on that. My slide is not advancing. All right. So the outcome of this process in the document that you will either have before you or will have before you, the document clarifies the roles and responsibilities of the commission and city staff, and clarity is really the primary goal here. So again, great job, everyone. The city, through Audrey, her role as the arts and culture coordinator, will have a voice in the enumerated tasks. So it allows her to participate in some of those discussions with a more active role. Staff, usually Audrey, occasionally me, will be authorized to execute certain operational tasks in collaboration with the commission and with committees. And really there's going to be the occasional situation where Audrey needs to just get it done due to primarily timing. But the intent really is to continue working as a team and collaborating, not to take off and run with anything, to just continue keeping everyone in the loop at least. And then, of course, you will continue to provide subject matter expertise to guide arts programming in Meridian, as you've been appointed to do. So action items either for today or next steps. I would ask the commission to approve, or if you need to make modifications, to the proposed or operational roles and responsibilities document. Once the commission does approve, I will prepare for you a resolution. I don't know that the Arts Commission has ever executed a resolution, but commissions are empowered to do that. It's pretty rare, but it's primarily an internal document, or occasionally where a commission wants to write down its recommendation to city council. That's one tool they can use to do that. We're not doing that here. This is really more guiding how you work internally. So once the resolution is in place, we will implement and collaborate. And everyone, again, will be working toward mission fulfillment. And here's your mission: to develop, advance, and nurture all facets of the arts to enhance the quality of life for Meridian residents and visitors. And Jessica read that at the top of the meeting, and that's really kind of the focus of this entire project, is how can we achieve this mission together and keep our focus on that. I'm going to go back to this. That is the end here of what I have to say. So I will turn it back over to the chair, or acting chair.
Great, thank you so much. Emily, this is great. Your PowerPoint presentation slides are very arty, so it fits in well with what we do. This is great. I think that since not everybody has this or has had a chance to review it, we here are just getting it this afternoon. I would suggest that we review it, if we want to discuss it in our subcommittee meetings, and then can we sort of approve it piece by piece in our subcommittee meetings, or do we have to approve it again as a full commission?
Madam Chair, I think it would be simplest and easiest to have commissioners review it on their own, and then we can discuss it again in our whole commission. Because it is so similar, we had very minimal changes to the list that was already reviewed in the subcommittees. The only major changes was the color coding.
Okay.
And so I think it's easiest if we just bring it back in resolution form next meeting. The commission will have the opportunity to amend it and then approve.
Okay. I think that sounds great. Do we need to vote on that approach?
Madam Chair, no, I think
Okay.
I have no microphone. Oh, there, it's back. I think it's fine to just do that
Okay,
as an agenda item.
great.
Okay.
Okay, so Audrey will send this out to everybody who is not in person here. So please take the time to read through it, reacquaint yourselves with the discussions we've had in our subcommittee meetings, and be ready to discuss and vote at our next full MAC meeting, which we don't have a date here on the agenda. So do we need to identify a date?
Madam Chair, yes, the reason it says TBD is because our next scheduled regular meeting falls on November 11th, which is Veterans Day. City Hall is closed on Veterans Day. And so we can either decide to reschedule the meeting in November or cancel and resume in December.
Okay. Is that something we should probably decide that now? I think we've got everybody. So Bonnie, you've got your hand raised, I think.
I didn't mean to raise my hand.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, so we could stick with Thursdays and just do the previous Thursday. Or we could do a different day that week.
Let me pull up really quickly because there are other regularly scheduled meetings in the council chambers. Let me just pull up the council chambers calendar. I didn't think.
And Madam Chair, Commissioners, Audrey, I think it needs to be also coordinated with when the agenda setting meeting is between Bonnie and the mayor, yourself and Emily. So we might have, I don't think we could go with the previous Thursday because wouldn't that be too close to where you have the agenda setting meeting?
Right.
We might have to go with the
Usually-
subsequent.
Yeah, we can reschedule. It's a short meeting, so we can reschedule the meeting with the mayor.
Okay, great.
So the other thing that we could do is, Audrey, if you want to send a poll out and poll everybody with some suggestions and see what works for most people. That way we don't need to take the time in the meeting now, and then you can just email everybody and let us know what the date will be.
Okay, I can certainly do that. So what I'm hearing from the commission is that there is more interest in rescheduling the November meeting than canceling.
Madam Chair
Okay.
and Commissioners, and Emily, of course, I would suggest that if Audrey polls other commissioners, that a date certain for their response be set,
Yes.
because November, at least in my life, is getting to be a real,
Mhm.
not a train wreck, but kind of, it's really getting busy.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Well, I mean, we could decide to skip. So I'm trying to think of what items we may have to discuss at that point. And I can't think of anything that would be essential that we discuss then, aside from, this resolution, which we could do in December instead.
Exactly, Madam Chair, this is, at this point, the only action item for the commission to review next month is this operational resolution. Otherwise, it will be reports. But even the subcommittees don't have any major decisions coming up in the next month.
Okay, well, why don't, unless anybody objects to this, why don't we just skip our November meeting? And we can set this as our, primary goal for December to discuss at our December meeting.
Certainly.
And
Yes.
may I suggest, if we are skipping and everyone wants to see each other, you could come to the Initial Point Gallery opening on November 5th.
Yes, that is excellent. And of course, we'll have the unveiling on the 2nd as well. So
Yeah.
a
So we
couple
have
of
two
opportunities to all gather the week before. So
That
I
would
think
be
that's-
great.
Yeah. Okay, well, it sounds like no one is opposed to that. So, so the plan is to skip our November meeting and we will see each other hopefully at one of the events in November, but officially we will meet next as an entire group in December. And Audrey, what's the date for that?
December 9th.
December 9th. Okay. Well, happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving, happy fall, happy whatever you celebrate. And unless there's any further discussion, we could have a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, and Emily, if I might just add a couple of things, not specifically Meridian, but there is a new exhibit going up tomorrow morning at the Meridian Co-op. It's an artist that we all know and love, Hartini Gibson. It's absolutely fabulous. And Leslie, when you mentioned the Sandbar and the Sapphire Room, Treasure Valley Artists Alliance, TVAA, has their Opus 2021 juried show up now through the end of the year, and it is gorgeous. So I have two pieces. I didn't win any prizes, but I thought I'd promote it anyway. So go see it.
Awesome. Thanks, Lizzie.
I've got a concert coming up October 29th at the Nampa Civic Center, if anybody is bored. Nampa Civic Center is really doing their best to stay open. And so some of we local artists are doing concerts to keep it vital. They've had a real struggle during COVID. So yeah.
Thanks, Leslie. Everybody go to the Nampa Civic Center on October 29th and go check out Leslie as she performs. Exciting stuff. Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Madam
Tom,
Chair, I
second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, all right. Have a great evening, everyone.
Night.